Hey everyone, Michael Bodner here with another Tesla Tunity, and today I'd like to talk about Tesla service, and unfortunately things have taken a turn for the worse. So come along with me and I'll tell you all about it. Alright, well those of you who have been following along, whether a few of my past YouTube videos or on Twitter as well, and other social channels, my car's been in for service a couple times for some autopilot issues. So let me set the scene for you. First, I was getting some error messages on the screen. It was not happening all the time, it was intermittent, and it would say surround view limited, or some autopilot features not available. Basically, what was happening is autopilot worked. The car was able to hold the lane, manage speed with the car in front of me in car lengths, but none of the surround view type features were working. So that was the ability to switch lanes, navigate on autopilot, of course, and the safety features to go with it, primarily the blind spot detection, and of course the screen in the car showing you the cars around you. So all of those features were gone, but again, it didn't happen all the time. So I finally called in on one drive home from work to the 800 number. They checked the logs while I was driving, found lots of issues, ended up ordering some parts and scheduling me for mobile service when those parts came in. All right, so the first mobile service, the mobile ranger ended up coming out to my office parking lot. He mentioned that the replacements that he would have to do for the steering column and the passenger side repeater camera for autopilot both required reflashing the software on the car. To that end, he always liked to connect his computer to the car first, making sure he wouldn't have any issues. That way, in the event he did, he wouldn't leave me stranded with a car that couldn't go anywhere. I appreciate that because after about 30 minutes of troubleshooting with Tesla tech support, he actually finally gave up because his computer could not connect to my car. So first mobile service attempt, unfortunately, was a fail. He went ahead and called into his team, had me rescheduled for another time, another technician, different computer, you know, you name it. And so fast forward to my second mobile service appointment. The appointment window came and went, and no one called, no one showed. I called in and there was no record of my service appointment ever happening or ever existing. So that was a little disheartening, and they understood my frustration. They went ahead and scheduled me right away, kind of squeezed me into the schedule, and got me taken care of. So I appreciated that. So far, I felt a little bit better, and that's it. I was going to have mobile service later that afternoon. The mobile ranger called and said he was running really late. Would that be okay? I said, well, you know, service was scheduled at my office. I'm not going to be here at the time the service is. Can we move it to my house? He said, not a problem. That actually worked out better for him, and we moved on. So mobile service would take place at my house. He was a little bit late, but again, at least I was already home, and it wasn't too big of a deal. Well, he struggled tremendously. So first, the steering wheel. He had to take off the steering wheel of the car to get to the steering column. And many of you have had this part replaced. It's the part connected to the turn signal and the gears, where you have that plastic separating. Many of y'all have a picture of it up on the screen if you guys haven't seen this. So a lot of you have probably experienced this, especially with mobile rangers, and it should be a pretty easy service. Now, unfortunately, he really struggled with getting the steering wheel off. Ultimately, he finally got it, got the part replaced. Everything looked okay. Bad news. He scratched my steering wheel. Okay, we'll come back to that one. Moving on to the repeater camera for autopilot on the passenger side, front passenger side, he had a tremendous difficulty getting the part out. I asked him, you know, is there any chance it's because I have a low VIN car and they've made some changes, made some improvements? He said in his experience, this one was much tougher than other cars he's seen, and he's changed out a lot of them. He did mention the directions say the proper way to remove the repeater camera is to remove the front wheel, remove the lining, and pop the clips from the back. But he said he didn't need to do that, and he'd be able to do it just fine. Took him at his word. Probably should have stopped him right there, because the next steps, put tape all over my car on the paint, and started using a pry tool to get the camera out. And yeah, I've got the results up on the screen, but obviously we took some pretty bad dents as part of that service. All right, well, you know, we took on some damage, but autopilot works, so at least we got something out of the deal. So now let's bring us forward to service number 3. So service number 3 was to repair the dents that were caused to the body and also replaced my steering wheel with a brand new one. That service went really well. There was actually an expectation set that they'd probably have my car for a little while, and it actually just took 1 day. So I was absolutely stunned, really excited, got the car back in a day. They gave me the brand new steering wheel just like they said they would, fixed all the dents, and we're back in business. So 3 services, probably way too many, should have all been done in one, but 3 services, we're all set now, and we're good to go. Yes, but then the autopilot issue comes back, and errors on my screen, leaving work probably every other day for a week, and we're back to square one. So that brings us to current day. This is the most recent service update now. If you haven't been, or sorry, I should say, if you're following me on Twitter, you've probably seen a couple posts about this, but I'll give you some more details now. So I dropped off the car on a Friday morning for the autopilot issue, and it was 8:15. First thing they asked me was, would I be willing to leave my car for research purposes? I said, well, what does that mean? I've already been through service 3 times here. Well, they'd probably keep the car for a week and run a lot of diagnostics on it. And I said, you know, I'd really rather not. I've already been separated from the car 3 times. I really just want my car to work and I want it back. They said, okay, understood. We'll get it in for service right away. We'll treat the car as a priority. So remember I said I dropped off the car at 8:15 a.m. I asked for a Tesla loaner. They said they were out of them, even though it was the first appointment of the day. And they actually did have a Porsche Macan that they were going to give me as a loaner car, but sure enough, at the last second, they found the last Model S loaner, or maybe somebody just brought one back in. The car was in pretty rough shape, but at least I had an electric car, didn't have to worry about gas, so I was all right with that. And so again, I'm repeating myself now. Remember, I said the car was going to be treated as a priority, dropped off at 8:15 a.m. Well, the thing is, they forgot to put the car in service mode, and I kept checking in the app. Hour after hour, the car never moved from the customer parking lot. It wasn't until about 2:30 p.m. that day that the car went into service mode. So my priority car that was in for the 4th time for the same issue sat in the customer parking lot for 6 hours plus, waiting for someone to take it back. And remember, that's a priority. Okay, so, you know, no updates throughout the rest of the day on Friday, no updates on Saturday, they're closed on Sunday. Monday I check in and I'm told, you know, they're still running through diagnostics, still checking to see what the underlying issues are. Okay, Monday afternoon, about 4:15 p.m., I just happened to check the app, but I noticed the car's out of service mode, and it's now behind the Tesla building, so kind of where the service cars go. So I figured, all right, maybe the car's done. Let me give them a call and see what's going on. So I call in, and they confirm my car's ready. Well, now I start scratching my head. Well, was anybody going to call me and tell me this? Or was my car going to stay for another overnight for no reason? All right, whatever. I hurry over. I'm pretty close to the Tesla location, and I go to pick up my car. They explain that they changed out the right repeater camera, so now I'm on my 3rd camera. And of course, my mind starts going, you better check for damage after having the previous experience. And sure enough, there is like a rub on the paint. It almost looks like they were kind of leaning into it, trying to take the camera out. And of course, another dent from prying the camera out. So again, if they don't follow the directions, if they take a shortcut, they cause damage, it causes more work, more cost for Tesla in the end, and just an inconvenience to customers like you and me. But I show it to the person who hands over the car to me, and I say, look, they caused a dent. He looks at it, he says, yeah, I kind of see something. Here, let's go look at another Model 3 and compare. Okay, so we walk over to another Model 3 and he says, look, this one's got it too. And I said, no, you know, there's a little body line right there, but if you look really closely, and I've got a picture up, it's really hard to see, but you see it in the light and you feel it with your finger. They absolutely dented the car. And he said, okay, we'll have somebody call you in the morning and follow up on it. I said, okay, you know, let me just have my car, I'm gonna go home. And I took it upon myself to not wait for that. So this morning, so today is Tuesday, I called right when they opened, just after 8 a.m. and I asked for an update on the damage caused to my car last night. The person who intakes the car's service here, really nice guy, he asked me to send an email with all of the details of what happened, kind of my interpretation of what happened. I don't know that I need to prove my case, but okay, I obliged. And he asked for some pictures as well. And he took it very seriously, and he said he would have somebody call me right back. The manager of the shop would call me back. In my email, I specifically said, you know, not only are you gonna fix it, you're gonna fix it in one day. I do not want to do the car seat shuffle again. That'll be a third time doing the car seat shuffle. And on top of that, what else are you going to do for me? I mean, 5 services for the same issue is just downright unacceptable. So he said, understood, we'll have a manager call you right back. So again, I sent that email in probably close to 9 a.m. after talking to him at 8:15 a.m. And let me see here, we're at 12:20, no one's called back. So my car, from being a priority that wasn't, to being damaged and will be treated as someone will get right back to you, 3+ hours. No follow-up. So I hate to make a video like this. You know, you've seen some recent commentary from Kim from Like Tesla and Ben from Teslanomics. Unfortunately, I'm sharing the same story here. When I first got the car, service would bend over backwards for you. It was just absolutely phenomenal. And what I'm experiencing now can only tell me one thing, and that is they're growing too big too fast and they just can't keep up with it. And obviously what's happening here is they're taking shortcuts and trying to get things done faster, but faster doesn't mean better. Faster means rework. Faster means more cost, more inconvenience. So as soon as they call me back, whenever that is, I'm sure I'll be bringing my car in for a 5th time to get the dent repaired and see what they're gonna do. Probably have to polish up where there was a rub in the paint. And you know, fingers crossed that the autopilot issue doesn't come back, because I'll probably just blow a gasket on that one. But anyway, I feel it's important to share the bad with the good. I still love the car. I was still so excited to get it back, and I love driving it. So can I overlook stuff? Sure, but my patience is wearing thin, and this is kind of pushing me over the edge. So we'll see what they come back with. I'll keep you posted, but that's it, everyone. That's all I've got for you on this one. So stay tuned and we'll keep you posted. Talk to you later, everyone. Bye.